he's got so much confidence in him on the offensive side of the basketball. And as far as shooting the ball, like I mean, I look at him and I said this way before you guys even said it, that he was the best shooter to ever play. So it's like I got confidence in him on that side. You know what I'm saying? So I think we all do, and all the fans, all the players, we all do. So as a teammate, I expect nothing but greatness out of him. And I think that's how everybody should look at Steph.
I honestly believe, look, there's great shooters in the NBA. Steph may be the greatest shooter we've ever seen, and all this. There's been great
No,
shooters.
ain't no maybe. He's definitely
Yeah. So
ain't
talk
no
about that. You
maybe.
think Steph is the greatest shooter?
The
ever?
greatest shooter we've ever seen, hands down.
Why do you feel that strongly about it? I agree with you. I just want your point of view.
Because the shots that he makes is by far some of the toughest shots I've ever seen taken.
Wow.
Let alone
Crossing,
made.
let alone made.
Exactly.
Crossing over behind the back, just letting it go, turning around, just running the other way, and it's. Then ain't nothing else to be said. When I let this thing go, don't go for the rebound. We need to get back. And that's and that's extreme. I mean, not only is it extreme confidence, but that's a talent, man. That's a talent and a half. His dad is obviously arguably one of the top 15, 20, depending on what are you going by as shooters. But for him to make all of those shots off the dribble, pulling from half court, that the shot he made against Oklahoma City 2 years ago,
Coming
like,
across half,
God,
ridiculous.
Crazy. I think the thing that separates him is he got the ball on a string too, right? His
He
father
got
didn't really have
yo-yo.
that.
Yeah.
He got on a string and
Yo-yo.
the quickest release in the game.
For
and with
sure.
those two, you can't even argue. At any height, at any level, at any basketball game, that's gonna win every time.
Our character and all of those things about the Warriors, I think, when you look at who the leader of our team is, I am definitely the vocal leader. I don't think that's a surprise, but the leader of our team is Steph. And Steph he's extremely selfless. It's never about what can I do for Steph or how Steph feels or can I get this shot for Steph. Now, obviously, yes, he's going to shoot the ball, but his worry is always everyone else, and it's never me, me, me. And when your leader is like that, everyone else, you have to fall in line. And so I think not only did it shape our team, but it shaped the entire organization because that's who we're all following. That's the face of this thing. That's, our leader. That's who we're all looking to. When things go wrong, like what we trying to do? We trying to get Steph a shot. We trying to get the ball in Steph's hand. He carries that on the floor, but he also carries that off the floor as well. And I think, he's one of the best examples I've had, but also one of the best examples for all of us. He lives by a certain standard, and that's a great thing to get people to follow.
Well, good thing is easy for me because you have to have that dominant player that's at an even kill at all times, that doesn't get rattled. That's Steph Curry.
And you played with Duncan and Steph.
Yes, and that's what the similarities they have. When you see KD and Draymond arguing, or when you see Draymond mad because he didn't get it past something, you never see Klay in that mix. You never see Steph in that mix. He's always the one on the side at an even kill, focused on the game, ready to make the next play, trying to keep everybody else focused and not really getting involved into the nonsense on the court. You need a guy like that. Now, it's very few teams that have a player and an MVP when you lose a guy like KD that he can fulfill KD's role and still play his own role. Without KD in the game, Steph has become the closer. So he's closing now. He's not only making big shots, but he's closing the game. And he's also making plays as we look at now. He's made plays to win games. No team has a player that can be that guy when KD's off the court or be that guy when KD's on the court. Now, let me say this, too. Steph has more in his game than James Harden. James is a great scorer. He can't shoot mid-range. Steph can shoot mid-range. He can shoot threes. He can make plays. He can do it all. And people don't give Steph his props like he's not top 4, top 5 player in the league. After these last 2 games, I think people should start switching to see why people praise him like they do.
What were your first impressions of Steph when you're like start practicing with the guy and just, now from going from that to where you are now?
I think the biggest thing was just how humble he was as a superstar, that first and foremost, just seeing his his level of attention to the team, his level of care for the team and, the bigger picture, and it's documented, you go back and look at, of course his contract and the situation was, his injuries, but, even moving through, it was just like, this guy is really who he is. You know what I mean? And that's hard to, to find sometimes because it's just, it's difficult. You might have certain players who are one way on the court, then another way in the locker room, then another way, outside the arena and or people in general, but he's through and through. And that to me was the most impressive thing because it's hard to do. There's so many ups and downs. It's an emotional roller coaster, all this. So that stuck out the most, just how humble he was, how, just how true he was to himself.
So for you, who is the hardest guy to guard in the league?
Steph is really hard to guard. Mm-hmm. One, because of his shot, but two, because you don't know what he's gonna do. You don't know if he's just going to pull it. You don't know if he's just going to end up going by you. If he's going to cross you over 6 times and then shoot and look away. You have absolutely no clue what he's going to do. And I'd have to go with him.
Now, De'Aaron, for you, when KD doesn't play, it seems to me it would be harder for you because you're chasing. Because when I watch them without KD, Steph is in constant motion.
Oh, no, you're chasing them whether KD's playing or not. I had to guard Steph 4 times this year. It's hard.
Is it?
Yeah, it's extremely hard to guard. Because he's, you have guys like Kyrie and Dame who do everything off the dribble. I think it's kind of easier to guard a guy like that. It's not easy to guard at all. But you're not using as much energy as when Steph throws the ball, runs to the other corner, catches it, does a couple dribble moves, come off a pick and roll, throws it again, and then gets 3 down screens. It's not even a play. It's just them knowing what each other want to do. So I think it's so hard guarding Steph. You have to be in the best shape of your life.
People say Steph's not a good defender. He's guarded you before. Can he defend a little?
He can definitely defend. And he's a lot bigger and stronger than people give him credit for. Because you see him switch on to James, who's 6'6", 220. And then you see him switch on to LeBron, who's 6'8", 260. He's a lot stronger than people are giving him credit for because you guys where the games that everybody are watching are the games where he's being switched on to bigger and stronger people. But he's not a bad defender. He's definitely not a bad defender.
I just want to know, tell me about playing Steph Curry.
It's tough, man. I think his biggest weapon is obviously the way he shoots the ball. And then he can shoot off the dribble at any time, at any given moment. So it's tough to guard him because you got to pick him up pretty much at half court because he'll pull it from right there. Honestly, it's just ridiculous. And I think another thing that separates him is his humble confidence. He can go 1 for 12 from 3 in the next game. He's going to shoot 12 more. So I think that's what makes him great, too.
And then you think about Steph, what he's done, the three-point shot and the little guard. Obviously, he's a fan favorite. He's more relatable, to the common person. He's not super athletic, jumping out the gym. He's not the tallest. He's not the most physically, built guy. But he's one of the hardest workers, and what he's done, his entire life, not just in the NBA, but what he's done, especially in college. He's revolutionized, the three-point shot in his game. And it's not just a three-point shot. He's one of the best ball handlers ever, and he's one of the greatest finishers ever. Not just just shooting threes. He's in the class on his own with shooting. But in my eyes, he's the best point guard of all time. In my eyes, that's the best point guard I've ever seen. I love Magic and Isaiah. I didn't see Magic and Isaiah, and I love Magic and I love Isaiah's highlights, what they've done. But with my 2 eyes, there's nobody I've ever seen do it like Steph.